As a board gaming enthusiast, if you've been following my channel, you know that I'm a big fan of Runebound, both second and third edition. And being a completionist with poor impulse control, I am always up for additional Runebound content, expansions, or perhaps a new edition. Now, a little while ago, about a year or so ago, when Fantasy Flight Games discontinued Runebound third edition and kind of put an end to Terranoth. Some people were saying discontinued, but I think more kind of on hold because, of course, they were focusing on the various licenses and other IPs that they had leased, pushing that content out. But then we got Descent third edition. I know it's not Descent third edition proper, but that showed that the Terranoth setting almost had a reboot, almost had a re-imaging, and was certainly going to continue on. I mean, this is Fantasy Flight's IP. It's their in-house kind of fantasy setting. It works. It's solid enough. It has just enough background and history that you can hook the story into, but being open-ended, there's a lot you can do with it. So now I'm starting to hear rumors. Terranoth Legends. Now, we've got a confirmation of an expansion for Descent third edition. The question here is, Terranoth Legends, is that a spin-off of just these side quests and these little legend packs that they're going to put out? Or is this something else? The question that I've been hearing, and some of my friends have been saying that are plugged in much, much better than I am into the board gaming community, is that there is going to be a Runebound fourth edition. Now, is it going to be a proper fourth edition? Is it going to be a reboot? Is it going to be a hybrid game? These are all excellent, excellent questions. My take on it is, look, anything is a possibility. Of course, being an enthusiast, I'm wish listing it, but anything is a possibility. You could have said years ago, look, we're going to get a reissue of Fireball Island. And people would look at you like it's crazy. You could say we're going to get a reissue. Hero Quest is going to be re-imaged and reprinted mass market. People would say, no way. Games Workshop will never let go of that. And now here we have Hero Quest. So I won't say no, or I won't say never, or I won't say it's an impossibility with regard to Runebound, 4th edition. But here's what I kind of wonder with the time frame. First of all, you do have Descent third. There's that support putting it out. You get a little crossover there where if you like that game, and that's kind of a dungeon crawler tactical combat game, if you like that game, if there's a similar game in that way, but it's an overworld kind of open-end RPG type game, you'll get some crossover. You'll get some people that say, hey, I like this title, I'll pick up that title. That's got some good synergy. So that's a good time. Likewise, people know the Terranoth IP right now. You have players like myself and other players that are interested in it. It's not something new, complete re-imaging that you have to start from scratch. The challenge here, of course, is the longer you wait, the more that Terranoth saturation or that understanding of the game gets less and less and less until it's really diehard enthusiasts like myself. So that time clock is ticking. That time clock is advancing. But I could see a re-imaging. Likewise, since they own the IP, I know it's not as simple as this, they keep all the profits. They've researched it, they developed it, they own it. They're not paying a licensing fee and then collecting a part of that as the game sells. So from that perspective, they're all in. Of course, the big question, or I should say it's probably not going to be a question, it's interesting. Fantasy Flight does do it well. And what they do well is kind of this app-based hybrid game. It works. Depending on when you catch me, some days I really like it, some days I don't like it, some days I'm intrigued by it and the possibility. I will say they are always pushing for something new. If I look at if I look at Runebound 2nd edition to Runebound 3rd edition, third with the flipping of the runes. You know, Terranoth, it's all about the runes. You just got to get your hands on a couple of runes and you're set to go. So incorporating that bit of the lore into the game for Runebound 3rd, where you have these pogs, you have these coins that you flip to activate powers instead of dice. Yeah, it's a little bit clunky. Yes, it slows down. Yes, you have to calculate a little bit more, but it's kind of neat. It's kind of different. It's kind of fun. So I appreciate that with every new edition that they put out. It's not just slap on some new artwork and here you go. They change a few things. They risk a few things. They innovate a few things. You're getting the same game, but you're also getting a new game to explore. So that's kind of really interesting from that perspective. So moving on that, I think it would be a hybrid-based game. Now, as of this vlog, right now, this moment, I'm literally looking at Runebound 2nd, Runebound 3rd, and of Dreams and Shadows sitting over here, 3 games that I've been recently playing. And I'm kind of like, you know what? I want old school analog. I don't want an app. I don't want to be tied to my tablet or my phone or some sort of device. We're tied to it enough as it is. I want old school. But at the same time, invoking that richness with some background music and other things, an app could be kind of interesting to control it. Would it be both? I don't think it's going to be that. So turning it over to you, my fellow board gaming enthusiasts, my fellow Runebound enthusiasts, do you think we're going to get a 4th edition? And it might be Runebound something, or it might be renamed, but we know it's Runebound. I think there is a possibility, because they've always had kind of the classic dungeon crawler tactical miniature combat game, and then the overland RPG type influence game from that perspective. Terranoth Legends, possibly, maybe, app-based, most likely, and probably.